Thanks for tuning with us. The 2024 general election day is now 1 year away today.
Where did that go?
And former President Donald Trump, he's still the clear front runner for the Republican presidential nomination with just a gigantic lead over the rest of the pack.
Senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott has a closer look now at the state of the race.
New warning signs for President Biden. A vast majority of Americans believe the country is on the wrong track, according to our latest ABC News Ipsos poll. What's worse for Biden? Donald Trump is gaining ground in key battleground states. A New York Times Siena poll showing the former president is leading Biden in Arizona, Michigan, Nevada, and Pennsylvania. Trump, facing 91 felony charges, is still the clear frontrunner for the Republican nomination, leading his GOP rivals too.
We are going to win the Florida primary for the third straight time. We're going to win the state in a landslide next November.
Nearly the entire Republican field all on one stage in Florida this weekend.
Thank you, Florida.
Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie heckled after insisting the party deserved better than Trump.
Your anger against the truth is reprehensible.
Other candidates, including the state's governor, Ron DeSantis, struggling to close the gap.
The brand of Republicans has become toxic, very difficult to attract people to the party. So Florida has shown the way forward for the Republican Party.
Even though Biden and Trump are the leading candidates in their party, our latest poll shows their approval ratings are underwater, leaving challengers on both sides hoping for a breakthrough.
The 2024 race is just getting started. Most people are just starting to pay attention. Prime time starts right now.
DeSantis is expected to pick up a key endorsement from Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds tonight. It's unclear how that will impact the race, but one thing that could, a possible conviction for Trump. Kira.
Rachel Scott, thanks so much.
So for more on this look ahead at the general election day next year, let's bring in ABC News Deputy Political Director Avery Harper. Avery, this new poll that ABC put out shows that voters are really frustrated with the current status quo. That's just a gigantic wrong direction, 79%, even though the economy's been growing pretty well. Inflation's come down, not enough for people, but quite a bit. It's trending in the right direction. Jobs are plentiful. What's going on?
Yeah, when you look at the latest ABC News Ipsos poll, what we find is that 76% of Americans feel like the country is going in the wrong direction. And the thing about public opinion polls is they're really good at measuring how many people in a population hold a certain view, but they're not really great at telling us exactly why people feel that way. And so it's probably a myriad of reasons as to why Americans feel like the country is going in the wrong direction. But because we did ask this question, we can glean from the ABC News Ipsos poll that it is inflation and matters of the economy that are top issues a year out from the election. And I'll tell you, when we have our campaign reporters and they go out into the country and they talk to voters, there is a real negative perception about the state of the economy, regardless of what the Biden administration says. There's a real feeling that costs are going up for things like housing, for gas, for food, and that wages are not keeping up. And so there is a real warning sign in that for Democrats.
So Terry and I were just talking about this, you know, with Election Day just 1 year away now. How will Trump's Republican challengers broaden their message? I don't know, maybe even focus in on a tighter message to try and win over more moderate and independent voters?
I don't believe that they are going to moderate their message for independent or more moderate voters because they are competing in a GOP primary. When you look at the GOP primary electorate, that is a more conservative group of voters. And so often we get this disconnect, right? There are some times where we see that there are these very conservative candidates that end up winning the primary, but when it comes to the general election, they're just not able to bring more voters into the fold.
So anything can happen between now and Election Day. Look, we even remember through the night, things changed within minutes. But do you think any of these other candidates even have a chance here?
Well, anything can happen. We don't have a crystal ball. All it takes is for former President Trump to lose one of those early states, right? Voting doesn't begin until January. So it's important that we don't anoint him as the would-be nominee because there's lots of things that could happen. But if he loses one of those early states, things can get really competitive really quickly. And that becomes a huge race to see who can get the most delegates and become the nominee at the convention.
Well, and Avery, I want to follow up on that because the way he won in 2016 is there were a lot of Republican candidates who split the voters in that party who didn't want to vote for Trump, and he kept his base and sailed through to the nomination. Again, this year, you got a lot of candidates competing for the anti-Trump vote. Who looks best suited right now? Everybody thought it was going to be DeSantis to be that last man or woman standing against Donald Trump. Is it Nikki Haley?
There are a lot of folks who would point to Nikki Haley as the nominee who might have the best chance at bringing more voters into the fold, but it really remains to be seen. We know that former President Trump is far outpacing each and every one of his GOP competitors, and so time will have to tell on that one.
Avery Harper, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.